Hello, welcome to the 122nd FA Cup final, the most celebrated knockout competition in world football, with the climax played for the third year running here at Cardiff's magnificent Millennium Stadium.
Yes, from pretty younger. Svensson, it's three. Sylvan Wiltor. Southampton have got to the FA Cup final. It's three FA Cup finals in a row for Arsene Wenger's Arsenal.
Well, it is, as we say, not just a day for the players, but it's a massive one for the fans, and we've been out and out outside the Millennium Stadium just to have a word with one or two of the fans arriving.
My grandfather, Alec James, was the captain of Arsenal in the 1930s, and 67 years ago today, he was the captain when Arsenal won the Cup.
A big day for Arsenal. I thought we were going to do the treble. We've won nothing. This is our last chance.
Come on, Saints.
Arsenal think, you know, just come every year. It's just another game for them, isn't it? But this is our cup final. We're going to win it. Yeah. We are confident.
That's right.
Very different teams, and I think Southampton will win it on effort.
Yeah, it could go either way, really. They could be a bit despondent after losing the league, and you know they could be on a downer completely, and it might help us, or it might go the other way. It might spur them on to win something. So
I think it's just hopefully going to be a great game, and everyone's going to enjoy their day out in Cardiff. So that's the main thing, I think.
Well, it's always fun to look back on a day like today to the obstacles the two clubs have overcome on the way. This is the route Arsenal have taken to the Millennium Stadium, as traced by Ian Payne.
The cup holders opened their account in a tie against third division outfit Oxford United. Arsene Wenger's team had never been beaten by a side outside the top flight, and the hosts were expected to dominate the proceedings. With Thierry Henry missing due to a hamstring injury, Dennis Bergkamp and Francis Jeffers made up the strike partnership. Bergkamp was on course for his 100th goal for the Gunners, and with just 14 minutes on the clock, a neat through ball from Jeffers allowed the Dutchman to clip home. 1-0 up, and Arsenal began to dominate the match despite some hard work from the visitors. Their second goal won't win any awards for skill or style, but it helped secure the victory. A corner from Pires found its way into the net, but how it got there is open to interpretation. United's Scott McNiven eventually credited with finding his own net. Non-league Farnborough Town were handed a giant-killing opportunity when they were drawn at home to Arsenal, but the match was moved to Highbury for safety reasons. Here's Jim Proudfoot.
Bunch back to concede the corner, which is Arsenal's second of the game. And Bronkhorst will take it. Hennig on the end of it, but so too was Sol Campbell. Pires. Toure. 2-0. This time it's Jeffers. Wiltor. Good ball by Wiltor for Van Bronckhorst. 3-0. Van Bronckhorst causing mayhem down that left-hand side again. And Dennis Bergkamp makes it 4. Lauren, Jeffers on a hat-trick, screams for the ball to be put back to him. But Lauren takes the selfish route and justifies it.
In the plum tie of round 5, Arsenal were drawn away to their closest Premiership rivals, Manchester United, watched by Peter Brackley.
Edu and Pires. Edu taking a deflection and it's in. Arsenal lead. Edu shining purposefully forward, a good ball inside to Wiltor. It could be 2 and it is. Beautifully worked goal from Arsenal.
After Manchester United, it was Chelsea for Arsenal. The quarter-finals bringing together last year's finalists, and the Blues were determined not to be outclassed a second time. And despite a successful home record against Chelsea, the Gunners knew that the match would be no walkover.
All Elston and watched, and Terry scored! Is it finally in from Jeffers? It is! Henry, away from Cudicini! Alfiots, almighty scrambling in! Chelsea have forced an equaliser, 2-2.
So with the first match ending 2-2, the replay took place at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea fancied their chances. Arsene Wenger had lots to think about.
Got Vieira to his right, Jeffers through the middle. Here's Patrick Vieira. Oh, it's an own goal! It flew in off Terry. Here's Vieira storming forward now then for Arsenal. Jeffers up ahead of him, so is Wiltor. It's a great chance here for Sylvan Wiltor, and it's 2. Now Hasselbeck. Was he pulled back then by Seagat? He was. Not the last defender. But it is his second yellow and he's off. Hasselbeck for a free header, and it's in from John Terry. Arsenal seeking to restore the 2-goal cushion. Still Laurent, he's gone all the way and it's in! And suddenly, Arsenal are back in total control.
And after a fine win over the Blues, Arsenal had the look of champions as they took to Old Trafford again to face First Division Sheffield United in the semi-final.
Now Jeffers might get a shooting opportunity here. Wiltor off the post, Wiltor again. And then in, yes, from Freddie Ljungberg.
So we're almost ready. The kick-off in the 122nd FA Cup final, just minutes away. Settle back wherever you are, enjoy the occasion. It's Arsenal against Southampton in the company of former Liverpool, Spurs and England goalkeeper Ray Clements. And first, the man who, well, he prepares just like the players. He goes to bed early. He's here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, your commentator, Peter Brackley.
A very good afternoon, everyone, from Cardiff. Indoors in Cardiff. And for all the ever-spiralling profile of the Premiership and the massive prestige of the UEFA Champions League, let there be no mistake. The English FA Cup final, with its pedigree, its colour, its pageantry, remains a hugely significant day on the football calendar. For Arsenal, Cardiff, in the splendour of this Millennium Stadium, is fast becoming home from home. Their 4th outing here since its opening just 4 years ago. But for Southampton, so proudly to be led out by the engaging and charismatic Gordon Strachan. Well, it's not only their first visit to this sumptuous arena, it is then their first appearance in the FA Cup final since that glorious Wembley triumph over Manchester United way back in 1976. Arsenal, the old hands, just now then their 3rd successive FA Cup final. Southampton, the eager newcomers. It's a fascinating matchup, with the Gunners under Arsene Wenger so anxious to gain swift compensation for missing out on the league title by retaining the trophy they won last year. But the Saints have come marching into the Welsh capital, of course, to enjoy the day, but certainly not merely to act as bit part players on this senior stage. They are confident with this huge backing of their fans too. They won't fluff their lines, fiercely determined not to freeze under the spotlight. And they're hoping now to turn in the kind of performance that they will surely need if Arsenal, so imperious for most of this past domestic season, are to be matched and subsequently overcome. Contrasting moods really in the opposing camps over recent days. Arsenal still smarting from their Premiership disappointment. Southampton, there is such raw excitement, such elation at simply being here. Let's take a check on the two teams, starting with Arsenal. And even their extensive squad has been fully stretched by a whole string of injuries lately in recent weeks. All the same, it's of course still a very capable side that Wenger can parade under skipper David Seaman, although without Vieira and Campbell in particular, there could well be a chink or two in their armour. At least Martin Keown, Lauren and Ray Parlour are all fit. There's also a place for Oleg Luzhny at the back. At the sharp end, Wenger has opted for Dennis Bergkamp as the chief support act for the incomparable Thierry Henry, with Sylvain Wiltord left on the bench.
Yes, I mean, that was the only surprise, I think, that Wiltord was not playing, but of course Bergkamp's got tremendous experience. He'll drop off the front, off Henry, and allow Ljungberg and Pires and even Parlour at sometimes to break forward beyond Bergkamp. So the test for Arsenal will be, can their back four stay strong against the Southampton front two? That's a certainty, because there is one or two players who are playing today that maybe might not be 100% fit.
Well, for the Saints, the recovery from injury of the influential Chris Marsden is a real bonus for the manager in midfield. While in goal, as expected, Antti Niemi, the Finnish international, returns now that he's fit again, although it's pretty tough on Paul Jones, who's been outstanding as his deputy in his absence lately. But one big surprise in the starting 11, 21-year-old Chris Baird, a Northern Ireland under-21 international. He comes in for Fabrice Fernandes, the Frenchman, with David Prutton cup-tied. The midfield quartet of Telfer, Oakley, Anders Svensson and Marsden picks itself really. And up front, well, all eyes will be on James Beattie.
Well, certainly it will, the top goal scorer, and of course Brett Ormroyd is also starting to score one or two goals as well now, so they'll need him to try and test the Arsenal back four. But as you say, the big surprise is down that right-hand side. Chris Baird has only played one game, he played that in midfield. He's now playing at right back with Telfer in front, and obviously I would think that they're worried a little bit about Robert Pires, so certainly they would have that situation with Telfer and Baird to try and stop him from getting down that side of the pitch.
Well, James Beattie is the man, 23 Premiership goals. It's been a wonderful season for him. And now back in the England fold too, on the strength of his consistency right to the back end. But of course, Arsenal with Thierry Henry in the front line for them, both the PFA and the Football Writers' new Player of the Year. And he has now extended his tenure with Arsenal for at least another 3 years. Graham Barber taking the whistle then this afternoon. It's the pinnacle of his career, of course. And what a day for these Southampton players. Here they are in the FA Cup final. The first time they've made it this far since 1976. And here's the surprise name in the lineup, Chris Baird. He's only 21. And he'll be hoping to settle down pretty quickly, Ray, any early nerves.
Well, certainly he will be, but I would think the whole Southampton side will be, because you look at the experience in the red and white, and of course for Southampton there's nobody in their side that's played in a cup final before, and it'd be very interesting in the opening 10-15 minutes to see how they do settle down and can they cope with this sort of atmosphere and play the game that's got the sort of game that's got them to this stage of the season.
The Saints opting for the same colours as 1976, the cup-winning year, yellow and blue. A lucky omen, they hope, and many of that team are here today to see the current heroes in action. This is Wainbridge, the England international, aiming for Marsden, who's come through a fitness test, as has Lauren, as Arsenal's right back today. A lot of late injuries had to be cleared up before the teams were finally announced. Fitting Ljungberg, looking early on for the pace here. Henry, and he's clear. Great shots, and a terrific save by Antti Niemi. But there is the danger to Southampton, the blistering pace of Thierry Henry.
Well, not only pace but strength as well, because Ludwig was desperate to pull him down there and could simply have given a penalty, but Henry was honest, took it on, fancies his chances. But how many times this season have we seen Niemi make saves like that and save Southampton?
But a very strong early warning here for Gordon Strachan's team. They have to cope with Henry. Ludwig van playing alongside Michael Svensson at the back, and he was certainly struggling against the acceleration of Henry. And he brought him down, he'd have been off.
Well, certainly, and certainly Ludwig van there kept hold of his shirt when he was in the penalty area, so, you know, if he'd have gone down then there would have been a problem for Southampton.
There's James Beattie with his first strike on goal. He'll be hoping it won't be his last, and that the ones he has in future will be better than that. But what a revelation he has been, as has this man, Antti Niemi. I don't think there's been too much down. He will come back in now that he is fit again, although Paul Jones has been playing so well. And he got his ankles right, Ray.
No, he came out, gave Henry very little of the goal. You see from this angle Ludwig van pulling him, but just look, very little of the goal there for Henry to aim at. He made himself big, Naomi, and smothered it, and it was an excellent save.
Here's Dennis Bergkamp, preferred then in the firing line to Sylvain Wiltord. There had been much speculation during the week about which one it would be as partner for Henry. Here's Chris Marsden, very important player for Southampton. He's a good passer, good cross with the ball, and his appetite and desire really epitomises what Southampton are all about. They have grit and they have determination. This is Anders Svensson, then to Marsden. Good delivery too. Arsenal just about coping. No two ways about it. Arsenal are not defensively as strong as they have been in the past. Arsene Wenger admitting now he's lost the monuments and he hasn't really replaced them. The likes of Lee Dixon and Tony Adams and Nigel Winterburn. Dennis Bergkamp. Parler's flick, then Gilberto, the Brazilian, and Ashley Cole, who'll be lending support to Pires down that left side. As Ray was saying earlier, they are concerned, I think, about the threat that Pires in particular will pose. Hence the inclusion of Baird at the expense of one of the flair players, Fabrice Fernandes.
I think also it shows what Gordon Strachan's game plan is as well. He knows that if he has too many flair players in the side and tries to match Arsenal in that side of the game, then they might lose. But what he'll do is pick a side that will get around Arsenal, make it difficult for them to get their rhythm going. And certainly the longer the game goes on at 0-0, then the more you would think that Southampton will have a chance.
And Gordon Strachan will not be sitting in that seat all afternoon, I can assure you.
I'm surprised he's sat there this long already, I have to say.
He's normally so animated, but he's been pretty calm all week and jovial and perky form. Really relishing having taken this team through to this FA Cup final. Just looking at Thierry Henry, is there a slight injury there maybe? Certainly moving a little gingerly. Gilberto. He didn't finish the season as well, before today, he didn't finish it as strongly as he started it. Maybe ran out of steam a little after his exploits in the World Cup, and he played in every game for Brazil in their ultimate triumph. Fenny Ljungberg. And then to Lauren. Arsene Wenger was keeping his cards pretty close to his chest in terms of who would play today, but I think Lauren had been a doubt right up until the last couple of days. Here's Ashley Cole, another who's been on the injury list lately. Now Bergkamp. Did well then to work it on. He was clattered in the meantime. Poor challenge by Anders Svensson, the Swede. It was clumsy on Bergkamp.
Was, and he actually caught his, Bergkamp caught him on the knee there as he went down, and he's still in a bit of pain. I don't think it's a twist or anything, it's a straightforward kick, but it can be painful there if you're caught with the studs, and I think that's what he's actually got. I don't think it's a twist as such. Certainly it just looked like a kick from Bergkamp as he fell.
Oleg Luzhny, who's come in at the back then in the absence of Sol Campbell, out through suspension of course after his sending off against Manchester United, and Luzhny himself was yet another who had been doubtful for this game. Well, can Svensson continue? They don't want to lose him. He does give them some bite and some flair too going forward. Scored an excellent goal against your old club Tottenham, didn't he, in one of the early rounds?
Yes, he's capable of breaking from the middle of the field. He's got a very powerful shot as well. Not always as accurate as you'd like, but certainly he has got tremendous strength in it.
Pires to Dennis Bergkamp. Southampton with everybody back defending. This is Lauren. Put a header down towards Martin Keown, who ventured upfield. Keown only came through a fitness test this morning, we gather. And they really need him without Campbell. Cole looking for Henry. That was Michael Svensson. No relation to Anders. But Henry marauding up front. He's full of running. Very lively, very vibrant. What a rags to riches tale for him. Only a few years ago he was playing non-league football and working in a textile factory. Lauren to Martin Keown. His experience could be invaluable now. Such a worrying moment early on for Klaus Lundekvam. Do you feel they've settled a little since then, though, Ray?
I think so, yeah. I think they've started to get closer to Arsenal in this last 3 or 4 minutes and not allowed them to play too many pretty passing movements. And they're going to have to do that for 90 minutes if they're going to win this game, Southampton. That's a certainty. But it showed that if you don't keep that going, then this man on the ball now can cause you a problem.
Henry, faced by Wayne Bridge, just glided inside, and then Niemi lost it. It was Bergkamp, and cleared off the line. Young Baird who got back. Lauren. Arsenal sweeping forward again now with Henry. He is such a danger, such a threat. Matt Oakley. As Henry fell heavily to the ground, getting some harsh treatment, he can expect more of that, I would think. The game plan from Southampton will be to close them down, keep things tight, and certainly keep a very, very watchful eye on Henry. Martin Keown managing to tackle himself then somehow. Lost his balance for a moment, but no harm done. It's a foul by Dennis Bergkamp on Klaus Lundekvam.
There's Chris Baird there. It was a vital clearance off the line. I mean, Henry's had 2 half chances and forced Niemi into saves. Here we're saying there seems that he can go nowhere at this time, but just that little bit of pace. Niemi spills it, and then Bergkamp from a very acute angle. I'm not sure whether that was going in or not, but Baird couldn't take the chance. He's in the right place and gets it away.
Here's Marsden. It's only young Baird's 4th senior outing. He did start the final Premiership game, a win away to Manchester City, playing in midfield. And he also came on as a substitute in the 6-1 thrashing of Southampton by Arsenal at Highbury just a couple of weeks back now in the league. And there's the first save that Seaman has to make. Not too difficult one from Michael Svensson, but he's got his hands warm.
He has, yeah. I mean, it's a long throw. Svensson arrives very late, makes it difficult for the Arsenal defenders to pick him up. Managed to get a head on, but no real power. And of course, David Seaman, it's like picking cherries off a tree for him.
And your record has gone today. You were the oldest goalkeeper, and I keep reminding you of it, to play in the FA Cup final in the modern era. David Seaman is now at 39, older than you were.
I'm actually quite happy that's one record I've lost now.
Just between you and me and about 500 million people. What age were you then?
I think I was 38 and a half, so he's done me by about a year, I think.
This was 87, the Coventry game.
Correct, yes.
Which you lost. Here's Svensson.
Didn't need reminding of that either.
Up by Oakley to Chris Baird. Waited by Luzhny. Playing out of position, really, in central defence. He's more of a fullback. Although he's had to play in the centre on quite a few occasions this season, for one reason or another. 10 minutes gone. A miscalculation then by Ray Parlour, who has the role vacated by Patrick Vieira in midfield. Parlour, who I'm sure would have captained Arsenal today, had this not possibly been David Seaman's last appearance. Now that's Bergkamp with a wonderful pass to Thierry Henry. Just couldn't finish it off, but what vision then from Bergkamp to locate it.
That was an absolutely incredible ball. Lundekvam is going absolutely mad at this left-hand side, that they're allowing Bergkamp to put balls in like that, but it was inch perfect, and I think Henry will be disappointed that he didn't finish up stronger than that.
But now at the other end, the endeavour of Brent Ormrod has earned a corner for Southampton.
Well, this is the pass, and he takes it onto his left side. Lundekvam sells himself, but Henry still decides to strike, and it's a comfortable save in the end, but really it was the pass that was everything there from Bergkamp.
Well, it must have been a tough call for Arsene Wenger, either Wiltor or Bergkamp up front. He'll be feeling at the moment he's got it right. Michael Svensson hoping to make his presence felt in the centre. David Seaman stayed at home, and that proved to be the right decision as well. "13 fantastic years at Highbury." What's your reading of the situation now, Ray? Do you think he will stay on there and fight for his place?
I think he'll sit down after this game with Arsene Wenger and have a long chat about what the future is. I know for a certainty Arsene wants him to start taking taken charge of the goalkeeping coaching there at Arsenal, which is something he's very interested in. But I think, unfortunately, nobody goes on forever, and I'm sure that Arsene Wenger will bring somebody else in the close season. But then David Seaman is a strong enough character to say, OK, well, I'll have the fight and we'll see who is number one.
That was Telfer's pass, which has gone astray. Laurent tidying up now under pressure from Chris Marsden, and it forced him into an error too. Laurent, who I wouldn't think is fully fit by any means, but Wenger knew he had to gamble with 1 or 2 today. Here's Marsden, so desperate to play. 34 now, Chris Marsden. He's journeyed around the lower leagues. He's now found his niche with Southampton. He has had an outstanding season with them. That was his little cushion header down for Ortrod. Prepared to take on Martin Keown, and he got his cross away too. Dealt with by Gilberto. Ortrod, who scored here actually for Blackpool in the 3rd Division playoff final against Orient. That was Anders Svensson. Again, Gilberto just providing that shield in front of the back players. And it's Telfer who fires it over the top. And they are beginning to impose themselves a little on Arsenal now.
Well, that'll be a pleasing passage of play for Gordon Strachan and Southampton, because in that last 3 or 4 minutes there, they've forced Arsenal into unpressurised errors. Arsenal have given it away needlessly. We just saw with that shot from Telfer, it came from a sliced clearance there from Oleg Lesnar. So certainly it's the plan that Gordon's put in place is starting to work, but we've also seen that in Thierry Henry, he's had 3 opportunities already in this game to put Arsenal 1-0 up, and certainly Southampton are going to have to get tighter on him, otherwise they're going to pay a heavy price.
Here's James Beattie, foraging up front. We saw Arsene Wenger just glancing up at the roof moments ago. It is the first FA Cup final to be played indoors. They shut the roof a couple of hours ago now after some heavy rain in the area. It's a pretty humid atmosphere. It's certainly a sizzling one too. Beattie is the target here. Keown to bail Arsenal out. Well, initially anyway, and then it's Michael Svensson. And that's 2 opportunities he's had now.
Well, it is unfortunate the 2 opportunities that have come Southampton's way have fallen to the wrong person, really. If that had been James Beattie, it might well have been 1-0. But certainly Svensson in the right place. Unfortunately, the technique not quite good enough. Doesn't get over the ball, as you see there, and it flies aimlessly over the bar. But that's 2 long throw-ins now Southampton have had, and they've had half chances from both of them.
In fairness to Michael Svensson, he has popped up with a few goals this season, including one, the winner indeed, at Manchester City on the final day of the Premiership campaign, in which Southampton finished their best ever 8th. This now is the icing on the cake to appear in this FA Cup final. Great partner for Arsenal. The scorer last year, of course, in the 2-0 win here over Chelsea. Philip Ljungberg getting the other one, and he is hoping today to become the first man in FA Cup final history to score 3 years in a row. Ortrod now for Southampton. This is Bridge. Ashley Cole with that headed clearance. Perez couldn't get there though. Offside. The flag is raised against James Beattie. He's been scoring goals consistently this season, Beattie. Rather in dribs and drabs before. Yes, that was the right decision. And of course now back in the England squad for the matches that include the European qualifier against Slovakia. Back in favour with Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Yes, well, one of the top goal scorers in the country, then you're always going to be considered. There's just one little worry, I think, for Southampton at the moment. Anders Svensson in the middle of the park looks to me to be limping a little bit, and
on the back foot here, Lawrence cross.
Hopefully he'll run it off, but certainly he was walking very, very tentatively sort of a couple of minutes ago, and they have sent out Joe Tessam to warm up, so let's hope there's nothing serious.
Up comes Martin Keown and Oleg Luzhny, the Ukrainian. Philip Ljungberg almost on the goal line, alongside Anthony Niemi. It was Telfer who smuggled that one away, but only as far as Ray Parler, rather. Now there's an offside flag. This time in Southampton's favour. Gordon Strachan is now patrolling the touchline over there, frantically gesturing towards anyone who cares to listen. I don't think anyone can hear him in this noise.
No, I think he's talking to himself, I think.
He has been saying this week how much he was looking forward to the day, and he's got a new suit too. He says he's still got that one from 1985 when he played for Manchester United, and it's wearing a little thin. This one didn't cost him anything either. Here's Cole. Now Lundekvam with a free header. What a torrid afternoon it was seen against the case of Henry. Matt Oakley organising this free kick. Another who has really shone under the leadership of Gordon Strachan. Now can he find the head of Beattie or Ormrod? Svensson again in a threatening position too. And it's Lauren who heads out for the corner. They will be sensing, I think, Ray, that it's in the air. They might get some joy.
Well, certainly they've got Southampton have got some powerful players in the air, particularly Beattie, Lundekvam, Svensson, Ormroyd. They're all very, very good headers of the ball, and this is one of the areas now at set plays where they need to be strong, Arsenal, because already they've conceived a couple of half chances from set plays.
Here's Matt Oakley with the corner then for the Saints. Anders Svensson. Again, Arsenal keeping them at bay, but maybe not for long. This is Chris Baird. He bent it in too. And ahead, David Seaman just about managing to clutch it.
Well, I think
they thought it was going to sneak in.
Well, it shows great confidence from the young boy, doesn't he? Pulls it down out of the sky, takes Von Perez and then bends it with that right foot. And certainly David Seaman saw it a little bit late, but managed to get across because it was going to sneak in off that far post, I think.
David Seaman, you remember, made that fantastic save late on in the semi-final against Sheffield United to keep out Paul Pesky solido.
I think that's one of the best saves I've seen, apart from the Gordon Banks one from Pelé back in 1970. It was just a magnificent save. It had no right to even get close to it, never mind save it.
It would have gone in your scrapbook, wouldn't it?
It'd have been on the front page, that's a certainty. That.
You mean there's more than one page? Perez to Gilberto. Now Ray Parler in that holding role in midfield. Al Ljungberg. Parler again. Put in possession though by Anders Svensson. Gilberto. Henry was the target. This is Perez. Now there could be danger. Henry again. No, he was robbed by Oakley. And Ormrod could be on his way now. Looking for his front-running partner, James Beattie. Wasn't the best of balls, in fairness. But he's a keen worker up front, his Beattie. His all-round game has improved so much over the past season.
Well, certainly when you're playing against James Beattie, you know you're not going to get a restful afternoon, because he'll chase down balls that other forwards won't, and will put defenders under pressure, as he just did then.
Won his first England cap against Australia, James Beattie, and hopes to add to that soon. Ormrod. He's got Beattie up with him. Offside. Just went too soon, then Beattie. Well, you can't blame him for tucking it away, but I think he knew the flag was up.
Well, it was borderline, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not sure there was a gap between the two players. You're supposed to be able to see daylight, and I don't think there was. So he will feel hard done by, but the linesman may possibly just have been right.
But they have a good understanding, these two up there, Ormrod and Beattie. They actually played together as juniors at Blackburn. Major problems early on here for Arsene Wenger. He would regard as catastrophic, I'm sure, any defeat in this final this afternoon. A season for them that promised so much, but as yet has failed to deliver. Ljungberg. Marsden back in defensive mode against Ljungberg. Now it's Ray Parler. He hasn't necessarily been a fixture by any means for Arsenal this season, Parliament. He never lets them down. Always comes in and does a good job. So does this fellow, Henry. On his bike again, his bicyclette. Freddie Ljungberg. They're failing to outwit Wayne Bridge. Interesting comparisons today, Ray. Wayne Bridge for Southampton on the left, Ashley Cole for Arsenal on the other side, and of course both vying for an England place. Well,
that's right. The great thing for Sven is that he's got two left-sided players in Wayne and Ashley. There is not a lot to choose between them. They're both excellent fullbacks going forward and defending. Both got great pace, and certainly that's one area of the England team that there isn't a weakness for a number of years to come.
Good play then by Telfer. Lawrence missed it. This is Marsden. Beattie making a dart into the box. Just couldn't make contact. But another scare then for Arsenal. Here's Oakley. Telfer. Going in for Anders Svensson, who has quick feet. He's done well too. Still Svensson. And away for the corner. Their confidence is growing.
Certainly they're the side that's on the up without a shadow of a doubt. I would think Arsene Wenger will be disappointed in one or two tackles that went in there. Certainly you'd expect Svensson not to get that freedom and to walk through that tackle as he did with Ljungberg. So this will be giving Southampton and their fans tremendous confidence.
Southampton very much the underdogs coming into this game, but giving an excellent account of themselves so far, despite those early concerns caused by Henry. That was Keogh. And a good challenge from Chris Baird. And so far so good for Gordon Strachan, who's never been a loser in a cup final. He's featured in 4 now. Both sides of the border. For Aberdeen up in Scotland. And he was a winner with Manchester United back in '85 against Everton. Oleg Luzhny. Well, whatever happens today, it's been a fine season for Gordon Strachan's team. He's such an ebullient character, but he has them well organised. And of course, simply reaching this final guarantees entry into the UEFA Cup next season, with Arsenal in the Premiership, in the Champions League. Telfer. Keogh. Baird is cool and composed. Seems totally unruffled by the occasion so far, and he certainly came to their rescue early on in this match with his clearance off the goal line. Third FA Cup final here in Cardiff. Will it be the holders Arsenal's glory for the 9th time? Only Manchester United with 10 have won this famous trophy more often. Or will Southampton relive their finest hour and emulate their triumph of '76? They're underdogs then too, of course. There's Pires, beautifully weighted ball, but Henry just offside. He's so quick, almost too quick for his own good sometimes.
Well, the linesman, I think, he was that quick, Henry. I think the linesman thought twice about whether he was offside or not there. But certainly, again, it's a very close call, but probably just offside yet again, as close as the one we saw with Beattie at the other end, I would say. But those are the balls that certainly Southampton can't allow to be threaded through, because if Henry gets on his bike, you're never going to catch him. That's a certainty.
32 goals from Thierry Henry again this season. At times he has been simply breathtaking. Very Parler, a different type of player, but very effective on all the same. Now it's Bergkamp. He was tripped then, he was impeded by Baird. As the young Irishman acknowledges to referee Graham Barber, who's kept a firm grip on things so far. It's untidy then from Baird.
To be fair, I don't think it's been a rough game at all, so there have been no real bad tackles at all so far, so it's been a relatively easy game for him to handle so far.
Lauren, the Cameroon international. Now Gilberto. Swapping passes with Pires. Ljungberg, the white man. Now Gilberto. And Pires. Good combination play by Arsenal, but Southampton standing firm. as Klaus Ludwig, the Norwegian, clears. Something of a cult figure he is with the Saints fans. He's never scored for the club in his 7 years. Tell you what, he wouldn't mind getting one today, would he?
Worth the wait if he gets it today, but I think his major concern will be, can he handle? I think he'll be just as pleased if he can handle Henry throughout this 90 minutes. He's had 1 or 2 nervous moments already.
In fairness to him, he's been pretty consistent down the seasons, Klaus Ludwig. And there's formed a decent partnership at the back with the other Scandinavian there, Michael Svensson. Gilberto. Well, Southampton promised they would be combative. They were being committed, but Telfer then overstepped the mark.
Well, from here, I have to say, it looked as though he made contact with the ball first. There's the ball, and his follow-through catches Gilbert, but there was nowhere else for him to go. I mean, certainly it was a hard tackle, but he certainly made contact with the ball first. You know, as we see it, look, there's the ball, and he can't do anything else but catch Gilberto afterwards.
Sums up the way that Gordon Strachan's team have set about their task this afternoon. There is so much desire and spirit about them, and they will feel that's the way they have to play.
Well, yes, I mean, I'm sure that was the game plan, that they need to get in and around all of the Arsenal's talented players to make sure they're not allowed time to get into rhythm and their passing that they can do so well. But for me, that was a little bit harsh. I thought it was a good tackle. And some people like Tommy Smith would not have survived in this game, I don't think. Some of the tackles that are not allowed these days.
Just got a view of your boss there. Has he given you permission to work here, Sven?
Yes, he said I could have today off, but report for the squad tomorrow lunchtime, please.
He's got a few contenders to weigh up here. Rujny is chipped. Henry has gone down. Still not moving too freely, much to Southampton's relief. Bridge. Omrod chasing, and he will chase all afternoon, that's for sure. And he was taken out then by Keown. That was completely mistimed, and I think that will have to be the first caution of the afternoon.
Well, that was a reckless tackle, wasn't it? I mean, Omrod is going absolutely nowhere. The ball's probably going out of play, and it's just a tackle from Keown, which a man of his experience really shouldn't have made, because there was just nothing to be gained from it. Absolutely nothing to be gained from it. And it now puts Southampton in a dangerous set play situation again.
And he walks the tightrope for the rest of the final. Keown, who didn't start last year's game, he did come on as a sub though, late on in that win over Chelsea. Of course, he's been such a stalwart for Arsenal down the years. They might be tested again here. Seaman retreated, but no harm done. It will be a free kick and respite for the Gunners. Front runners in the Premiership for so long, but finally overhauled by Manchester United's overwhelming desire. And they're going to have to match Southampton in that department today if they are to cut through. Henry seems to be okay again.
Still stretching off the groin area there. I think over that far side there he slipped on a bit of turf that moved and felt a little tweak in the groin area, but he appears to be okay.
There's a scuffle going on now. James Beattie at the heart of it after clashing with Luzhny. And Graham Barber, I think, is going to penalise Beattie as his foot was a bit high then. Stunts were showing, and you can see Luzhny's reaction there. Absolutely livid. So it is a yellow card. 2 in the space of a couple of minutes now. This time for James Beattie, putting him under a bit of pressure. But no question they have not come here, Southampton, just to enjoy the day. And all credit to them for that. Here's Luzhny. Lauren asking a lot of Bergkamp. Michael Svensson had stayed with it. Now it's Bridge, the only local-born player in the Southampton team. He and his dad Mick used to watch the Saints when Wayne was a youngster. The aimer here came from Hearts, and his old teammates have sent him a good luck card for today. Although with all the posts, he probably hasn't seen it yet. There's been so much excitement down on the south coast. James Beattie climbing high. Here's Omron. But covering though by Keogh. Now Ljungberg. Even Henry won't reach that one. Oh, here's Niemi. He said he wasn't going to feel guilty today, Ray, if he was brought back in at the expense of Paul Jones. Well, though Jones had played, and I suppose he had to look at it that way. I'll stay with that for a moment, we'll come back to that when we see what happens here with James Beattie. Now Marsden. They've got three in the middle. But Gilberto is back defending. Oakley. Now Baird. And here's Gilberto once more in that defensive position. Pires. He was caught from behind. Free kick to Arsenal. Yes, I was saying that about Niemi and Paul Jones.
Yes, no, I think Paul Jones is an excellent goalkeeper, obviously the Welsh national goalkeeper, and certainly when he's come in the side, he's done very, very well as well. But Niemi has been outstanding for Southampton. You know, some of the games I've seen this year, certainly without him there, they would have been beaten, and he's made some incredible saves, and quite rightly has established himself as number one, and being fit, comes back into the side.
And he showed his composure early on with that save from Henry, which is taking on added significance now, you feel. Had Arsenal gone into an early lead, Southampton might just have frozen, but as it is, there's not much to choose between the two sides.
Well, there isn't. You're totally right there. If they'd have scored in those opening couple of minutes, then it would have been very difficult for Southampton. But Southampton have settled, they've upset Arsenal's rhythm without a shadow of a doubt. Just giving away a silly free kick here, but certainly I'm sure Gordon Strachan will be the happier of the two managers at the moment.
Dennis Bergkamp will float this one over. Keogh making a late run to join Lushney up there. Way by Michael Svensson to Anders Svensson. But now it's Lauren. Southampton stepping up. There was no flag. But they might just catch Arsenal on the rebound here. Seaman had to have his wits about him. Bergkamp, and for once he got it horribly wrong. Doesn't happen too often. But Southampton really warming to the occasion. And they have threatened David Seaman's goal on one or two occasions already.
Well, they have, but David yet again showed his experience, a good starting position when the ball was played over the top there, and just took charge of the situation, because Ashley Cole was under a little bit of pressure from Beattie. But certainly when David came out, he knew exactly what he was doing. I've seen him do that a few times in head tennis, actually. He's not bad with his head.
Oh, is this fellow, Martin Keogh, winning his aerial duel this time with James Beattie. And it promises to be a key clash too. Bridge. Nicked the ball in then for Beattie. Now it's Marsden. 10 minutes of the first half to go. And it's Chris Marsden on the ball again. Now Bridge. Well, Henry isn't up there. It's Ray Tyler making the burst. And Svensson quite relieved it wasn't Henry, I would think. Bit of difference in pace between the two. Lauren. Brett Ormrod upfield is just limping at the moment. There'll be two more doing that now, I would think. Beattie again colliding with Keogh. Not a lot of love lost between those two so far. Anders Svensson. Bergkamp hovering with intent. Chris Baird was there. Getting appreciative applause from the Southampton fans, backed away to our right in their yellow and blue. The same colours, remember, as 76. When as underdogs, they triumphed over Manchester United. Pires, cannoned off, Wayne Bridge. Pires again, and that'll be Niemi's. There really has been such excitement for Gordon Strachan and his team in Hampshire. Been a huge buzz around the city really from the moment they beat Watford in the semis. bit clever for tickets. And for a club of their stature, it is a commendable achievement. And they don't intend, quite clearly, to let it pass without making and milking, indeed, every possible moment. Henry beaten by Lundekvar. Not really his strength. Thierry Henry beating players in the air, but on the ground he's absolutely deadly. Matt Oakley. Outmanoeuvred by Gilberto, now Pires. Dead once again. Coming to Southampton's rescue. Lauren. Marsden closing down on it, but it's Parler here. No real width though. Henry, now Bergkamp. They did Paul Ljungberg, and then Pires. Yes! Arsenal take the lead on 37 minutes. Robert Pires.
I was only just thinking to myself how quiet Pires has been in this opening 37 minutes. And then, as all great players do, they pop up with something. Southampton will be disappointed. Lovely ball from Henry and from Bergkamp. To be fair, Ljungberg's touch wasn't the greatest to start off with. It looked like the chance had gone. But once they get a little bit of luck, it rebounds off Lundekvar there. And there's Pires. He doesn't miss the target from there. And although Niemi got a hand to it, there was nothing more he could do with it. But they have a little bit of luck here when the Bergkamp pulls it back, because certainly Ljungberg's touch wasn't the greatest. We get a block on it, but there it just rebounds to that man there. And as I say, we've seen him, he doesn't miss chances from that sort of range.
Well, there have been questions posed about their defensive deficiencies, maybe their lack of organisation and drive without Vieira, but there's no mistake. Their attacking players have such flair, as underlined then by Robert Pires, the French star. And they've got a few of those in this team. As Ray was saying there, he'd been pretty much subdued, and then suddenly you see the best of him, and you see the real threat and danger of this Arsenal team. Here's Henry. Taking on Lundekvar. Putting back to Pires, who arrived late on the scene then. And I think the presence of Telfer just did enough to distract him.
Well, again, just look at him accelerate, Henry there. Leaves everybody for dead, looks up, waits for Pires coming into the box, pulls it back, and it's just slightly behind Pires there. He just can't wrap his foot around it. But great play again from Henry. And he's the one player at the moment, no matter what Southampton do, they can't cope with him.
He's so jet-heeled, isn't he, Henry? And there is space down this right side that he is exploiting. And he picked up the late run then of Pires. Almost into the last 5 minutes now of the first half. A sickening blow for Southampton to suffer. I noticed Chris Marsden clapping his hands just after the goal and urging his players to show their character now, not let their heads drop. But it was a goal to stun them from Pires. His 16th for Arsenal this season. It's the first goal, incidentally, in a first half of an FA Cup final in the Millennium Stadium. Gilberto with Bergkamp. Arsenal buoyant at the moment. Here's Parler. And a forceful run by him. Such a different type of player to the men around him, Ray Parler. Very important for them, isn't he?
Well, you've got to have a balance in your side, and Ray Parler gives them that. He's such a strong runner, box to box. He wins tackles. He doesn't supply the passes maybe that Pires does, or sometimes that Ljungberg does, but he's vital to that Arsenal side.
A moment for Pires to treasure. He, of course, missed last season's final through injury. Problem that caused him to miss out on the World Cup as well. There's Parler with a hefty challenge. Just fought for a moment there. Graham Barber was reaching for the notebook. But only a reprimand this time for the Arsenal midfielder. actually only played in just over 20 games this season in terms of starting matches, Ray Parlour. Over 400 senior appearances in all. And he is very much a part of the scene at Highbury. Rightly so. Good jump in by Beattie. Now Bridge. Lauren. Just easing it back to Martin Keown. Both the goals against Chelsea came late on last year, of course, and the year before that. Gimberg gave Arsenal the lead, but Liverpool won the day with those two very late goals from Michael Owen. Now Parlour. Henry, they've given him a side of goal, and Bergkamp has one as well. Driven in by Bergkamp. And a mighty scramble at the back. They've got away with it, though, I think. Here's Parlour. Maybe not. Henry. And that was a very important block then by Matt Oakley. The flag stays down. Niemi just kept the ball alive. But a real chance here, for Ray Parlour.
Well, there was. I mean, it's some nervous moments at the back here for Southampton at the moment. They just don't know how to deal yet again with Henry. He's dropped off the central defensive two. They don't know whether to go and pick him up or not. And once he starts running at them, then they've got massive problems. Do they go to him? Do they back off? And when they decide to go to him, he slides balls down the inside of fullbacks, and that's where Bergkamp got his shot in from.
Ray Parlour hasn't actually scored for Arsenal since his goal in the final here last season. Ludwig Vam and Gilberto looking strong in the midfield for Arsenal alongside Parlour. This is Lauren. Gilberto again. Bergkamp, lovely football from Arsenal. It's Pires on the charge now for the Gunners. Yep, Ashley Cole up there with him. Inside the last minute now of the first half. Cole. Working in tandem with Pires to win the throw. Vital really that Southampton don't concede another one now, with half-time approaching. Gordon Strachan, I'm sure, will have plenty to say at half-time. They say actually he's quite a cool character, believe it or not, in the dressing room. You wouldn't think so from his interviews afterwards and his antics on the touchline.
Yes, I read that from Wayne Bridge in the week, saying he was as calm as Sven in the dressing room. Well,
really?
He makes up for it on the line then.
So he's actually asleep then. Well, they weren't calm then. They were very, very excited, and understandably so. It's been hard going for Wenger's team so far. They've actually been in decent form since conceding the championship to Manchester United. 10 goals in their last 2 league games, including 6 against Southampton, although I don't think we should read too much into that, given the personnel on parade. Two extra minutes to be added on here. Of course, Wenger was as stunned as anyone at Highbury by the failure to win the championship when they have been favourites for so long. Wayne Bridge. Lauren. Not a natural right back, Lauren, but he has settled in well there since Lee Dixon retired. He's a good athlete, and that might make up for any other deficiencies he has as a defender. Marsden. Not really influenced the game so far in a way that Southampton might have liked.
No, as I say, until the last 10 minutes, Southampton will be pleased with the amount of play they've had, and that they've messed up Arsenal's pattern of play. But in terms of, they've had a couple of half chances from set plays, but in general play, they haven't really upset Arsenal yet, and that'll be something I'm sure that Gordon will be talking about at half-time.
Southampton in their 4th FA Cup final. They had 2 at the start of the 1900s, and then of course 1976, their big year. It's been a long wait intend to make the most of this occasion. But not easy against a team of Arsenal's quality. Even without Campbell, without Vieira. Here's Laura. There is the half-time whistle, and it's advantage Arsenal at this stage, thanks to the goal from Robert Pires. Certainly Southampton have had their moments. They might have scored. One or two scary situations for David Seaman at the other end. He cleared one off the line, young Chris Baird. His surprise inclusion for the Saints today. And Southampton will still feel they're very much in this FA Cup final. And at the moment they trail Arsenal, the favourites, by a goal to nil in the Millennium Stadium.
Well, at least we've had a goal here, the first one at Cardiff in the first half of an FA Cup final. We're going to go back now to our commentary team of Ray Clements and Peter Brackley.
So Arsenal shading this FA Cup final through Robert Pires, who has been talking this week about extending his stay with Arsenal. There had been speculation that he might move on, frustrated as were so many of the Arsenal players by their failure to win the championship. Now he says he wants to be part of their success in the future. And after that goal today, well, I would think he'll be thinking just as positively, Ray Clements.
Yes, I'm sure he will. I mean, he's a tremendous asset to Arsenal Football Club. I mean, he's got an awkward running style. He doesn't look like he's covering the ground, and yet whenever he goes to beat somebody, he just not only goes past them, but then leaves them for dead. He really has got a great change of pace, got great vision, and of course for a midfield player, he scores vital goals as well, as we've seen today. So somebody like that is a massive asset to a club like Arsenal.
Arsenal then to get the second half underway. Now attacking the goal behind which their fans are back. Thierry Henry, who had that great chance inside the first 30 seconds or so. Southampton survived that. They do now find themselves having to come from behind in their first FA Cup final in 27 years. Oleg Luzhny. Southampton haven't really got at him, you feel. And although young Baird has done well on his inclusion, you do look now at the gamble of putting him in ahead of Fabrice Fernandes, and maybe think later on, Ray Clements, Fernandes will come on, and then there would be a bit more enterprise going forward.
It wouldn't surprise me if nothing happens in the first 20-25 minutes. If it stays like this, that Fernandes will come on, because he is a very, very creative player. And you had just mentioned Luzhny there. I think certainly Keown and Luzhny have not looked as solid as you'd hope they would be. But having said that, Southampton haven't got enough concerted pressure on them to try and expose them.
The ball clearance sent to by David Seaman. Telfer. Now Baird. This is Watt with clever turn too, and that was literally covering. The Southampton can take heart from that. A promising moment in this early phase in the second half. Well, one led by Anders Svensson, and then by Ramsek Michael. Baird and Oakley, who actually had a couple of years with Arsenal very early on in his career, and then rejected them. This is James Beattie. Typically a belligerent piece of front running from him, but nothing to show for it.
No, he thought he could do Martin Keown on the outside there, but his first touch was just a little bit heavy, which meant he was always struggling to cut it back from the line, and consequently he knocked it out for a goal kick. But as I say, we've just seen Brett Ormond with a wonderful little turn which eliminated Ashley Cole, and then nearly got a chance from that. And of course we've just seen James Beattie there at the edge of the box, prepared to have a go at Martin Keown. And I'm sure that Gordon Strachan would have said to Ormond and Beattie, you really do need to get at these two centre-backs, because as good as they can be, don't think either of them are 100% fit, and are therefore could be got at this afternoon.
As Keown in particular seemed to be struggling at times. Remember, he's had this hip or thigh problem all week. Didn't train, I don't think, on Thursday, and he'd been a big doubt almost up until kick-off. And we just see Kolo Touré warming up during the break. It's a possible replacement. Here's Keown now. success over the years with Arsenal. Maybe a swan song for him, with Arsene Wenger saying he's definitely going to buy another defender, and he says another goalkeeper too, but David Seaman won't listen to that.
He'll listen, but he's strong enough character to say, well, you're going to fight to get my place, that's a certainty.
But for England now, Ray, that is it, is it?
Well, I think, you know, Sven has said that let's look at what happens at the start of next season, because at this moment, nobody, including David, is sure exactly what's going to happen at the end of this season. So I think Sven is waiting to the start of next season. The door is not closed, but obviously he's got to be in that first team at the start of next year.
Here is Matt Oakley. He's had his best season really so far for Southampton, a season that began actually with Gordon Strachan not guaranteeing him a place. But he's won him over. Can he now force his team, or help force them, back into this final? Decent cross. That was Keown underneath it. And a bit of pressure too then for Michael Svensson. The old warhorse, Martin Keown, seeing Southampton off that time. But now they have a corner to contend with. Oakley will take it. Michael Svensson just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Beattie inside it. So is Ortrod, the hero of the semi-final in the win over Watford. Called over. Seaman just getting his fit to it. That was Lundekvam. I'm sure he intended that. But he's found Oakley. Then Anders Svensson to take it on. Beattie's head up! Well, a real opportunity given his prowess in front of goal, the form that he's been showing this season.
Yes, it was really. He got across the front of Martin Keown here. It's a good ball in, and Beattie gets across the front of Martin Keown, but just skins off the outside of his head there and wide of the post. But he'll be disappointed he hasn't got that on target. Not an easy opportunity for him, but certainly one during the season he would have hit the target with.
He is such a good round, all-round, old-fashioned type of centre-forward, Beattie, but that's his real strength in the air. But even though he didn't make the most of that chance, he certainly raised the spirits of the Southampton fans here. Passed away to our right. Now it's Philip Ljungberg threatening to skip through, and Dennis Bergkamp. Ljungberg wants it played into the middle. Henry is up as well, still Bergkamp. Tyler. Taking up for Gilberto. Maybe heard the footsteps of Brett Ortwell behind him. Southampton have got a man down in the penalty box. Lundekvam, I would think. Perez. And sportingly, Thierry Henry playing the ball out. It is indeed the Norwegian Klaus Lundekvam.
Yes, I think Lundekvam felt a tackle from Dennis Bergkamp. Lundekvam went to win the ball, and Dennis Bergkamp also went in, and Lundekvam has come out the worst of that. Here we see the tackle there. Lundekvam goes to clear, and of course there Bergkamp tries to block and just catches the right ankle of Lundekvam there.
Lundekvam, who was Graham Souness signing for Southampton, his 7th year now. He has certainly had his hands full today with Thierry Henry and Philippe Ljungberg. But no sign for the Swede as yet of the goal he hopes to create a bit of history. Yes, that was the moment when he caught him in Bergkamp. Nothing too sinister, but the foot was left in and there was contact.
Yes, I think it was safe. I think Bergkamp was certainly trying to get a block on the ball, and of course Lundekvam was trying to clear it, and sometimes you get those clashes.
They do have Joe Tessam among their substitutes today, Southampton. He will seem to be the natural replacement if needed. There's Patrick Vieira. His future remains in doubt. Outside him there. So Pascal comes Oakley. Pascal Sigan, sorry, I didn't give his full name then. I was distracted. Here's Ljungberg. Now Gilberto. This is promising for Arsenal. Dennis Bergkamp just made that bit of room for himself. It's beaten away, but not too far. And then into the side netting from Freddie Ljungberg. He has squandered his big moment.
Well, I bet he can't believe that he's missed this. You know, Bergkamp does well, brings it back onto that favourite right foot of his. How many times have we seen him bend that in? Amy really should have knocked it wider than that, but it's a great opportunity for Ljungberg there, and he will know that it should be 2-0 to Arsenal now. Because when we see it from this angle, I think he's got an awful lot of the goal to aim at here, and harmlessly puts it into the side netting. Yep, he really knows he should have done better there.
Hoping to be the first man in FA Cup final history to score 3 years in a row. Pires. Michael Svensson is the last defender. Back in the fray, but not looking that comfortable. So Gordon Strachan may have to contemplate a change. Luzhny. Telfer. Back in towards Brett Ormerod. That was Gilberto hooking it out. Only as far as Bridge. Well then Parla when he snapped into that tackle. Oakley. Spreading the play. Picking out Baird. Southampton will feel they're still very much in this contest. That was BT with the flick header. But again, not on target.
Well, I think on that occasion he reacted very, very well, to be fair. He could have only seen this so late. It's just flicked on from Marsden. He had no time to react and adjust, really, but managed to get ahead on it, tried to get it towards goal. Unfortunately couldn't. But I say Southampton have had, again, little bits of pressure, little half chances, but unfortunately they are half chances where every time Arsenal get into a good position, they make a real chance for themselves.
BT. Luzhny for company, and unfairly so. The eyes of referee Barber only a couple of feet away there. Now will Oakley take the responsibility here, or BT? He seems keen enough. And with his goal scoring record, he wouldn't argue. He's not going to try one from there. It's much more of a threat in and around that penalty box. Matt Oakley. Went darting across, hoping to leave some space behind him for BT to exploit. And they have got a corner out of it. Again, those yellow and blue flags away to our right are waving.
I think BT's smiling there because he can't believe they've got the corner, because there was no danger from the cross, and Gilberto nodded it out for a needless corner there, really.
Again, Arsenal wobbling defensively. It swung in. Seaman didn't get there. Goal kick this time. Telfer on the end of it. It seems to me this is their best route, their best hope of a goal. Something to come in the air like this from a set piece.
Yes, unfortunately, David, not getting there, but every set play they've had, really, they've caused some sort of anxiety in the Arsenal defence. So certainly they will see at this moment their best chance is from scoring from one of these set plays, and they are starting to get a number of them now.
David Seaman hoping today to join Mark Hughes of Manchester United and Chelsea fame as a 4 times FA Cup final winner. Bridge for Southampton. And Michael Svensson onto Oakley, seeing much more of the ball now. Again, directing the traffic towards that Arsenal goal. A strong, sturdy challenge there from Gilberto, and now is Henry. Are he going to run on goal here? Just flipped away at the last step by Niemi. Really alert goalkeeping to deny Henry, who suddenly burst into life.
Well, again, he turned on the turbo, didn't he? Here he goes now. He just opens his legs up. Van's always struggling. Svensson's trying to get back. Just opens his body up. It's going to go inside that far post, but a great stretch here by Niemi. It really is. Just gets his fingertips and enough of a deflection to give the corner away.
Well, I think he'd given Southampton a breather for a while, but he was suddenly back on the scene with a vengeance there. Perez with the corner. Southampton struggling to repel the Gunners. We have this 1 goal advantage, the goal from Robert Pires. Marlon to Lauren. He's curbed his natural instincts to get forward in this game, Laura. He's got Pires, of course, ahead of him. Bridge, short mistake by him. Set up for Ljungberg. And it was a crucial challenge then from Lundekvam. Ljungberg so close there to getting that breakthrough goal for him.
Yes, I think Matty Oakley having a few words with Wayne Bridge there, because it was a very dangerous thing that he tried to do. Backheel the ball there. Great pace from Pires down this right-hand side. Cuts inside. Bridge gets himself across it, his body across him, but instead of letting it go out, gives the ball back to Pires, and it's only a tremendous block from Lundekvam that actually stops the goal being scored.
Well, he bailed him out there, didn't he, the Norwegian? There was some naive defending in front of the England coach too by Wayne Bridge. That will not have impressed him. Here's Telfer. Baird. In goes Thaler, whose industry has been such a feature for Arsenal. Not a vintage performance by them, by any means. But they lead, and there's every chance they will add to that lead. But now it's BT at the other end. Such a menace in the air. But so far, with no reward. Gilberto, tackle was a bit late then from Telfer. And Pires, who's saying no need to book him. Graham Barber thinks there is. Just meant my eye gone upfield then, Ray. How late was that?
I didn't think it was late. Pires maybe made a bit more of it than what it actually was, and Pires knows himself that it wasn't anything vicious. And you know, he's there talking to Graham Barber, saying, look, you know, there was no need to book him there. It was needless.
My man of the season, says Gordon Strachan, Paul Telfer, for his attitude, his application. Followed him, of course, on commentary. Ljungberg will be wondering now if he's going to score that goal that will bring him 3 in successive years. Here is Ljungberg now with an hour gone. Arsenal 1, Southampton 0. Bergkamp, excellent play. With some sound covering too from Bridge, and he just clipped then by the Ljungberg, I think was disputing possession. Just caught him. Bergkamp will be wondering perhaps if this is his last major appearance for Arsenal. Some talk that he might not be staying, but I think the chances are he will be for at least one more year. And what service he has given to the Gunners.
Yes, I mean, he's just supplied that link from the front into the middle, hasn't he? You know, and allowed the likes of Ljungberg and Pires to break and go and join Thierry Henry. So he's really been vital, and you can see when he's not playing, they do miss that link.
Chris Baird. Now Svensson. This is Oakley. Southampton building patiently, just hoping for a breakthrough of some kind. Oakley again. Arsenal backing off. Wayne Bridge, he's seen the run then of Anders Svensson. He scored that fabulous goal for Sweden in the World Cup against Argentina, you might remember. Here's Matt Oakley. He was the hero of an earlier round in this competition for Southampton with 2 goals in the replay against Millwall. Now Ormrod, and then Seaman holding on well. One eye, I'm sure, on James Beattie.
Yes, I mean, when it was knocked to the far post there, Ormrod did well to get to it, but put just that little bit too much height on the ball, which allowed David to move to the back post and take it quite easily in the end.
Pires just slipping to another gear. This is Ashley Cole. Running to his left. He has Pires in support. Always so inventive. This time his pass has gone astray. Now Chris Marsden. Pass angled in towards Beattie, but Oleg Luzhny had read his intentions. Now Thaler. It's Bergkamp who's made the run. Being policed here by Lundekvam. There's some lovely skill there from the Dutchman. Trying to play in front of Ljungberg. Ooh, a few Southampton hearts were in their mouths then, but no penalty. And in fairness, no real appeal, no protest from the Ljungberg.
No, I think in the end Ljungberg actually fouled Lundekvarn there. But Bergkamp again waited and waited until the ball was played through, and you can see there Ljungberg actually wrapped his legs around Patrick Ljungberg.
When was the last penalty scored in an FA Cup final? There's a quiz question for you.
Can you give me 5 minutes?
I won't, I'll tell you. It was Eric Cantona who got to the Manchester United in 1994, so it's been a while since we've had a penalty scored here. We're in a final. On Rod now. Anders Svensson. And at the other end, Naemi is still down injured, and with no apparent sign of making an instant recovery. He's waving frantically to the bench.
He's got a problem with his right leg there. Certainly, I think we're going to see Paul Jones on here. He's in agony down there. He's obviously done something serious to that right leg there.
Well, again, play had gone on. This was after the confrontation with Ljungberg, presumably.
Oh, no, I think it's as he kicks this ball here.
Oh, right.
Oof. Looks like the calf muscle may have gone there.
Well, that looks very worrying indeed for Ante Niemi. What a calamitous way for his season to end. If that is the case, he's been out injured anyway. Paul Jones, who we're seeing here, has been standing in for him, and expertly so too. And it would seem now he is going to have another opportunity. It was a toss-up between the two who would play today. Niemi was always the favourite. But that does not look very encouraging at all, does it?
No, when you pull up like that, when you kick the ball, and then there was just that moment's hesitation, it just seized up, and he's obviously pulled something quite badly there. And I don't think he'll be walking off the pitch, that's a certainty.
Well, he's been such a good signing, such a shrewd one too by Gordon Strachan, and he's been saying this week, I've no intention of moving on, for all the interest that has been shown in him by supposedly bigger clubs. Arsenal themselves have been monitoring his progress apparently. And well, just looking away to my left, you can see the Arsenal fans applauding as well, which is good to see. And on comes his chump now, Paul Jones, no question, but Ante Niemi cannot continue.
No, it looks quite a serious injury that, and it's sad in a cup final to see anybody going off like that, but the Arsenal fans, in fact the whole stadium applauding as he goes off, because they all realise what a quality goalkeeper he is and how much influence he's had on this Southampton side this year when he's been playing. But the man coming on is also a very, very good goalkeeper as well, and has given outstanding service to Southampton over the years.
And familiar surroundings for him as a Welsh international at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff.
So he shouldn't suffer from nerves, should he?
The final message from Gordon Strachan, I would think, went on the lines of don't let another one in. He's a strong character, Paul Jones. Had a tremendous game in the semi-final. Southampton were just wavering a little before finally putting out Watford to earn their place in this final game, which at the moment is not going their way. The team's divided by Robert Pires' first half goal for Arsenal. Lundekvarn. Now Wayne Bridge. This is Pires back to help out his team defensively. Now Bridge again. So I remember in the Champions League final last season, Casillas came on, didn't they, for Real Madrid. So it's happened in other big occasions. It's happened today. With Ante Niemi now replaced by Paul Jones. But can Southampton find a goal to bring themselves back onto level terms? Henry. Such a graceful player, isn't he, Henry? And look at this pace again here, away from Baird. And he might go all the way too. Well, it's a theatrical dive by Henry. And he's been shown the yellow card. I'm not so sure he wasn't tripped, but he did make a meal of it, to put it mildly.
Well, he did make a meal of it. It was a shame because it was absolutely incredible play down this left side. I mean, he received the ball with his back to goal on the halfway line, and the things that he created out of it, out of nothing, was amazing.
But all he has received for that is a yellow card. And you can't actually argue with it either. I mean, it wasn't very convincing, Thierry. But the run was breathtaking. Oakley. Now Marsden. Ormrod had glided away to his left. Here is Brett Ormrod now. Beattie's up in the middle too. They've got 4-5 up here, Southampton. Bridge. And Gilberto yet again back there on defensive guard, as he has been all afternoon. Just protecting his fellow defenders. That's too deep this time from Bridge. Not out of danger yet though. Ashley Cole was not too convincing. Anders Svensson. Arsenal are not home and dry yet. Hit wide by Ormrod. Meantime, Parler is down injured. And the Arsenal fans don't like it.
Well, they're booing obviously because Southampton didn't put the ball out of play, but the two of them go in there. In fact, Parler caught, it looked like Parler actually caught Marsden, but Parler's come off the worst. And of course, from that, Southampton had a half a chance with, I think Marsden actually didn't want to win that tackle, to be honest. He pulled out of it, and somehow Parler's got the worst of it.
There's another heated discussion going on upfield too. Henry and Lundekvam debating the whys and wherefores of Henry's tumble in the box. Svensson diplomatically has walked away, kept his silence. Now Henry's having a go at him though.
To be fair, what do they expect? 1-0 down, Southampton. They're on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area, and they've got to try and score the goal.
Just hearing from the dressing room, Niemi has a torn calf muscle, as you suspected, Dr. Clements.
Well, it just looked like that because he pulled up, so it was either a severe attempt of cramp or a torn calf muscle, because you know, he hasn't played a lot just recently, and this is a massive occasion, and it takes a lot out of you mentally as well as physically, and it's just drained him, and he's finished up. The calf muscle's not stood up to it.
20 minutes to go in this absorbing final. Some feared it might be one-sided. It certainly hasn't been that. Here's Marsden. Yes, his foot was high. Hasn't managed to stamp his authority on this game, but he was stamping there with his challenge. Back comes Ray Parler. Back into the engine room. She has patrolled so grittily for the Gunners today. Luzhny and Ashley Cole playing at his third final in a row. Now Perez. This is Gilberto. He's gone about his business quietly and effectively today. Not too many frills about Gilberto. Maybe not the kind you associate with the Brazilian, but he does a good job for them, doesn't he?
Well, he shields the back four. He's always available to receive a pass. On most occasions, he does the simple thing. Very rarely gives the ball away, and we've seen him on a number of occasions when Southampton have got into good crossing positions. He's been the man in that near post area who's managed to clear them, to clear the danger.
I tell you what, if he had his way now, Gordon Strachan will be out there kicking every ball. He's actually saying he was more excited about getting to the final as a manager than he was as a player. Not too many feel that.
Well, I think it's a tremendous achievement for a manager, you know. I'm had a little go at managing myself, not at this level obviously, but to achieve something with a team when you've got to handle all the problems that you can get through a season, then it is a great feeling of achievement.
And he really has turned their fortunes around in the 18 months or so that he's been with the club, Gordon Strachan. Whatever the outcome today. Now, he's off again. Henry. He's so hard to stop when he's in the mood like this. Ashley Cole wriggling free, and that will be a corner to Arsenal. Set up by the initiative of Thierry Henry. When he hits overdrive, it's very, very hard to counter him. Henry will take this corner. Ljungberg on the goal line. Martin Keown has gone up. Gilberto and Luzhny. And that was Paul Jones, his first meaningful contribution since coming on for Niemi. Beattie to whack it clear. He'd like to have backed it to himself upfield. Telfer. It's another miscue from Seaman. It's put he and his teammates under some pressure. Relieved by Luzhny. Chris Baird. Now Bridge. Can the England fullback deliver from here? It's Marsden. Beautifully played him in too. It's Bridge again. Beattie was waiting in the middle, but there's no service. And Ljungberg has failed to keep the ball in play. It will be a throw to Southampton.
There's that man Gilberto again that actually stopped the cross coming in from Bridge, wasn't it? Bridge got into a good position, but Gordon Strachan now made a decision. Looks like Joe Tessam's the man who's going to come on.
For Anders Svensson, apparently. Gordon Strachan making the switch.
Replacing number 12.
Well, he's worked tirelessly, Anders Svensson.
Joe Tessam.
Now giving way to the Norwegian. Joe Tessam was a very versatile player. They often having waiting on the bench to replace a front man if need be. Or he can play at the back or in midfield. The seam of midfield role, swapping like for like. Ray Parler. Thank goodness, say Southampton, it wasn't Henry breaking there. Chris Baird, who has let nobody down. Brought in today at the expense of Fernandez. We may well see the Frenchman soon, I would think. Meantime, it's Telfer. Teasing Gilberto. Oh, Tessam! He's only just arrived. And might have made a name for himself there. And he's not a bad finisher either.
He's not, but I think on that occasion he mishit it. Certainly didn't make clean contact with it. It was a great opportunity, a lovely flick on from Beattie. He was in on that far post, but certainly didn't make as clean a contact as certainly he would have hoped, I'm sure.
He's got 4 goals for Southampton this season, Joe Tessam, including the one at Highbury in that 6-1 drubbing. Gilberto rolled up to Luzhny. Henry had shown for him. It's another free kick to Arsenal, and Dennis Bergkamp is now about to be replaced by Sylvain Wiltord. Bergkamp, who hasn't had the fondness of memories of the FA Cup and the finals. That was the foul then by Marsden on Pires. Of course, he missed out in '98, Dennis Bergkamp, because of injury. But he'd had such a fantastic year too for Arsenal. He's seen the signal. But I wouldn't think we're going to see the last of him now, will we?
No, I'm sure that he'll be around that red and white shirt next season. The Arsenal fans love him. He loves Arsenal. He likes living in London. I'm sure at his stage in his career there isn't a better club for him to be at. I know he doesn't like coming off in these situations. He likes to play 90 minutes, but even he at his age now I think has to accept that 90 minutes is not always possible for him.
So fresh problems for Southampton with the arrival of Wiltord. Another player with exceptional pace and speed up front, and eye for goal. Here's Henry, just slipped away from his marker there so easily. Parler, 4 in the middle now, waiting for the cross. Not forthcoming. The Tessam then was holding off Parler. Up trots Martin Keown and Oleg Luzhny. Keown, who has never scored an FA Cup goal. They would really welcome one now from anybody, Arsenal, just to ease them through. Henry's cross. Easy take though for Paul Jones. Southampton's substitute goalkeeper. We're heading towards the last 10 minutes. And it is going to be, I would think now, a very tense finale.
I mean, they've slipped, Southampton have slipped Marsden into the centre of midfield now. Obviously, he wasn't having the influence that certainly Gordon would have liked him having out in that wide left, so they brought Tesson on that left-hand side and moved Marsden into the middle to try and supply the balls, better balls into the front players.
Bridge. Now Ortrod, he's done well too. This is Tesson. Bridge to Tesson again. Tesson was a little clumsy, a little ponderous, and they might pay the price for it. Sylvain Wiltord. Strachan has the ball. Doesn't want to give it to a gunner. All right then. If he must. Henry. Making no impression, no headway this time. But likely to cause panic. Henry's near that Southampton goal. Rosny up to Parla. Henry. Arsenal so desperate to avoid for them the unthinkable. Ending the season that promised so much empty-handed. It's not going to at the moment. Gilberto on to Ashley Cole. Now Wiltord. That was Perez to Ashley Cole. Patrick forward for once down the left. Thierry Henry. That sprawling save by Jones. Jeff it up, did enough there to rescue the situation for Southampton.
Well, again, 1-on-1 in the box. You've got to fancy him to beat, and he's got Lundekvarn against him again. He gets round the outside. Lundekvarn puts enough pressure onto him to unbalance him. He's always stretching, and then the combination of Jones coming out and spreading himself means that he can't get that ball across. But just the pressure of Lundekvarn, just that shoulder charge, just put him off balance, and he couldn't pull it back across that goal.
Telfer. Ortrod. Resolute defending though by Martin Keown. To deny Ortrod any space. So often the perfect foil for James Beattie, Brett Ortrod. Kevin Davis, who's been the backup for them, not even on the bench. This is Baird. Big moment arrived, but he couldn't take it.
Well, that's the second opportunity he's had from that sort of distance. He had one in the first half, similar, and did exactly the same. Didn't really believe in himself, leant back, and it went hopelessly over the bar.
Well, the dream is still alive for Southampton, but only just. He's not too convinced anyway. Lundekvarn. Really positive defending by him. This is Rosny. Now Lauren. Now Gilberto. The season began with that early goal in the Community Shield here. Is it now going to end with an Arsenal victory in the FA Cup final? It looks that way at this stage, but don't write Southampton off yet. Again, the abrasive Parla wins it back for Arsenal. Then Henry and Wiltord just offside. Another Arsenal goal, and surely that will be it. But as things stand, there's still hope for Southampton. especially with the spirit that they have shown this season. Tessa, then Ortrod, getting clear! And a fantastic reflex save by David Seaman, as if to say, listen, I'm worth another year.
Great save. I mean, it looked from here that Ortrod may have handled this when he pulled it down. He certainly did with his left hand, but the referee didn't see it. But it's a great save. It's straight at David, but certainly he's got to have good reflexes to turn that away.
It seemed to roll down his arm then, Ortrod. But Seaman certainly couldn't be sure. And that was another wonder stop by the England veteran. Oakley with the corner. Well, Southampton, I think, want to bring on Fernandez now. Well, a tremendous stop in the semi-final, remember that, from Pesky Solido, and this was another top-class effort.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of save David would expect himself to make, because it is straight at him, and just it's straight at him, but still regards you need strong reflexes, certainly, without a shadow of a doubt. Whereas the one in the semi-final, he had to move, spring, everything that he had to do to make the save.
Gilberto, then to Ashley Cole. Southampton still have time to save it. And Ortrod must have thought that he had found an equaliser. Keown getting a second bite at it. Now it's Ray Parlour. Youngberg. Test up for Southampton. They're showing such heart and desire, as Gordon Strachan promised they would do, but it's Youngberg, then Pires. Great interception by Michael Svensson. Pires is injured. Will we now see Fernandez? Pat Rice, Arsene Wenger's right-hand man there. 5 minutes left. That was Baird. And Tassam. Fernandez still waiting to come on. I think Gordon Strachan's forgotten all about him. So absorbed in what's going on out there. And it has been that kind of match. Perez to Parlour. Confronted, and illegally so, according to the referee, by Joe Tessam.
It looks as though he's going to get Fernandez on that long last anyway.
It's Chris Baird who is going to go off to allow the entrance of Fernandez, and just listen to the reception that he is receiving from the Southampton fans. Rightly so. Quite rightly, yes. You know, for one so young coming into a massive game, he's not let his teammates down or his club down at all. He's put in a very composed performance for one so young, and certainly Gordon will be pleased about him for the future, I'm sure. Perez, one for the present, his goal, dividing the two teams. Now Will Tor. There's only Henry right up front for Arsenal. Still Will Tor. Well gathered in by Paul Jones. Luzhny. Will Gordon Strachan look back and wonder, well, might have been different had I played Fernandez, he might have just given us that spark, but they haven't really had.
It's always easier in hindsight to look back and say, well, maybe if I had done this or maybe I'd done that. He honestly believed that the side that he put out could beat Arsenal. They're only losing 1-0 to them. They haven't been outplayed totally. Obviously, Henry's been the difference between the two sides with his electric pace. But the one area maybe Gordon would be disappointed is they actually haven't opened up Arsenal's back four, which really is one that's got one or two players that maybe are not 100% fit, but they haven't been put under enormous pressure throughout the game.
But they certainly haven't let Arsenal run away with it. they do lose, there won't be a tour of the city for Southampton. Gordon Strachan says he's not interested in that. If we don't win, why should we have one? So sure about that. Yeah, still given an excellent display here, given their all. And maybe the fans would like to show their appreciation. Gordon's a winner.
Yes, he certainly is. And, you know, he wants them to enjoy this, but he wanted to finish up with the trophy, and that would have been really the icing on the cake for him. But it's looking more and more doubtful at this moment.
Here's Henry from Ljungberg's pass. Still Thierry Henry, deflected, but then pushed wide by Jones. And a great reaction save. Anything David Seaman could do, so can I.
Well, it was, because when Henry breaks through here, Ludovic Van gets across him, but it deflects, and certainly Jones has got to readjust there, get after it, gets his top hand to it, and deflects it to safety. But that's an excellent save.
We're almost now into the last minute of the 90. Henry and Pires, the French combination. And somehow that's turned out as an Arsenal throw. Pires will be in no particular hurry to take it. But there will be 4 more minutes of stoppage time. Of course, should it go in, just to say, Ray, if it does go into extra time, that's what we'll have, and then penalties if need be. It has to be settled today.
It doesn't surprise me as 4 minutes, because we had quite a long stoppage there with the goalkeeper, didn't we?
Gilberto, a risky ball, but he's found Laurent, and that will tour. So fresh up front for Arsenal now, since replacing Dennis Bergkamp. Here's Parler, yet again outstanding for the Gunners today. He is an unsung hero for them. Ljungberg. But they're not going to throw too many forward now. Here's Gilberto, it's just possession for Arsenal. Parler to Wiltor. Or to Laurent rather, now it's Ljungberg. Feeding Cole. Southampton can't get the ball back off them. It'll be harder now, Henry's got it. Ljungberg. Only a few minutes for him to find that record-breaking goal, but he won't worry about that. His only concern now will be Arsenal winning the trophy. Henry.
Well, if you ever wanted a lesson of how to run the clock down, Arsenal have just shown it there. They must have retained possession of that ball for at least a couple of minutes there. Just one touch, simple passing. And Arsenal and Southampton just could not get close to them at all, and that was a brilliant play there by Arsenal. That was Arsenal at their best.
Pires. Is he now to be the match-winning hero? It's off Marsden for a throw to Arsenal. Those seconds ticking away. Southampton rapidly running out of time now. They've had their chances, they've had their opportunities. But surely now Arsenal aren't going to throw it away. We said that, though, about the Championship, the Premiership.
Yes, but I think, you know, that they are desperate to win this, Arsenal, because they really don't want to finish what has been a very, very good season for them without picking up some sort of trophy. And this isn't some sort of trophy. This is one of the big ones.
They haven't been at their brilliant best today, but let's not forget how well they were playing earlier in the season. Right up until the last couple of months, really, when they just seemed to run out of steam.
But also, let's not take away how hard Southampton have made them work today. You know, they've had a game plan, and it's nearly worked for them. They have knocked Arsenal out of their flowing pattern at times. So Arsenal have had to work hard for this. It hasn't all been pretty football from them. They've had to work hard against Southampton, and they've done that.
Referee Barber moving the free kick. Too many arguments back there from Southampton. Can the Gunners end the argument now, once and for all? Thierry Henry. Caution for Michael Svensson for his part in all that. Arsenal seeking to finish off the job. Björnberg and Henry. Finally, the referee is content. Here's Parler. And the decision going Arsenal's way, as you would think now, is the FA Cup final. 1 minute just to go. There's an idiot on the pitch. He's not a player, he's a fan, and he won't be seeing the final minute. Or any other minute, looking at the way it's been dealt with.
Quite rightly as well. When will they ever learn?
Wasn't Sven, was it? No. Sven's in the stand, enjoying this final, as we all have. I think Gordon Strachan is confused as anyone now, so what's happening here? They can't seem to take the free kick. Not out by the fool who ran on the pitch to cause a bit of mayhem. We won't be showing him. You want to see him anyway. At last the kick is taken. We've now played those 4 minutes added on. Just a question now of how much more time referee Barber will allow. One last flourish perhaps from Southampton, who have fought so gallantly, but just haven't had the break. Matt Oakley looking to hurl this one in. Just hope something will come their way. That was Michael Svensson, then Pires. Michael Svensson again. Some jittery moments back there for Arsenal. They've survived, but at the expense of a corner. And up comes Paul Jones. Well, on the aim, he hit the crossbar, I remember, in a league game against Fulham earlier in the season. And his replacement, Paul Jones, was hoping to make his presence felt now in a big way here, right at the last. It surely can only be a matter of seconds now to go. Seaman stayed on his line and is cleared off the post. Ashley Cole on guard. Oh, what relief for Arsenal and what frustration for Southampton.
Well, dear oh dear. What a wonderful save there from Ashley Cole. It was in without a shadow of a doubt, but somehow managed to get that left thigh up. But as we've said all the time, this is the one chance Southampton have had throughout the 90 minutes.
Fernandez with the corner. Aiming for the likes of Svensson and Tessem and Jones, of course. Seaman seemed to be battered then, but the referee has allowed play to go on. Well, that's it, and Arsenal have retained the FA Cup, but only just. That last-ditch clearance by Ashley Cole on his goal line has saved the day. And the holders are winners for the 9th time in their illustrious history. Back-to-back triumphs in Cardiff, to help erase the bitter and shattering memory of losing out on the Premiership crown. The winning habit is back for Arsene Wenger's magnificent side on the day. Just too strong for Southampton for all their gallantry, their spirit and their determination. Sol Campbell, who missed out through suspension, but a beaming smile from Arsene Wenger. But up steps now David Seaman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the FA Cup.
Alongside him, Patrick Vieira, who of course would have captained Arsenal today had he been fit. The FA Cup belongs to Arsenal. For the French contingent at Highbury, it's a case of déjà vu. And for this very English of clubs and their devoted followers, it's as you were, as the Gunners retain the trophy.
It wasn't a classic, it was a difficult game because we had the chance in the first half, missed the chance, and when came back with a lot of pressure on our shoulders, we had absolutely to win this game, and you could see it had an impact on the way we played in the second half, and overall I think it was a 1-0, deserved 1-0, but as long as the second goal didn't come, we had that didn't find that fluency and that drive we have usually going forward. We were very close to win the double again, and very close to win nothing. And that's why you could feel that I think this trophy was very important to us today.